So I'm just going to review this section. You should have done this already. And have the chords you're going to check to make sure you did it right. And I think as I do this, I want to talk about shapes that you should be seeing here. Like, for instance, we know that we just transitioned, and I apologize for the camera not always being in focus, struggling with tech. We did a sequential modulation here where the 5 of 4, basically the 1 chord, becomes the dominant and goes to the 4/6 here. But then that 4 is like a pivot chord too, right, in the new key that we're going up to. Actually, that's miswritten there. It should be E flat, sorry. Okay. And then it does the sequence again where it's now just the 5 chord going to 1, but it's the same figure, and 4 equals 2 is kind of a pivot. So Beethoven's combining sort of pivot chord technology with sequential modulation. We get to this new section here. Remember, we're in the B part of the rondo, but it's acting like transition because it's not a rondo. So if it will focus, I think we're going to go ahead anyways. Focus there. So this is a 1 chord. I'm going to put them above here in the middle where there's space and it's easy to see. It's a 1 chord. You know, we can see we're in E flat, which is the relative major, outlines the triad. There's my 3rd right there, but I'm largely going to ignore this top line unless I need it. Okay. And then this is a very common thing where you've got the root and 3rd and then the 7th below, right? So this is my 5 chord, and you know, we're just not going to get too tricky here. I think Beethoven's going to use a lot of 1s and 5s. 5/2 likes to go to a 1/6, and there's my E flat G B, right? You can see this has gone from there to there. This is my 1/6 right there. And then here's another, looks like a 5 chord. I think it's going to be a 5 chord. Come on, camera. Because I got my B flat and my D in right there. It does have a 7th up top there, right there. So this would be like a 5, and then that's the 3rd, 6/5, right? And 6/5, that's T, likes to go up to Do. So we're going to see another, wow, so hard with the camera, like this, a 1 right there. And I think he's just going to do this again. So if we look, this is the same thing as this right here, except instead of going root 3rd, because the 3rd's up there now in the melody, right? He's going root 5th, and there's my 7th right there. So if you're asking, like, how does he come up with all these ideas? Well, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he just recycles what he's doing, right? And then 5/2, that's the 7th, is going to want to come down. There's a 1/6 right there, right? And then we look here, and what comes after the 1/6, a 5 chord? Well, it's the same thing, but he's rejiggered or oriented the notes. There's my 3rd, there's my root. There's my root and my 7th. There's no 5th, but we know, like your appendix, 5ths are nice to have, but you don't always have to have them there. So there's a 5/6/5 right there, because there's the 3rd. And T, the 3rd, likes to go up to Do. And look, we have another 1 chord right here, like that. Okay. And what's going to happen? Well, there's another 5/2. I know you're saying, well, how do you know from that? But there's the root and there's the 7th, and we've heard that twice before, like right there and right there as well. Come on, camera. Very frustrated with this. Yeah, okay. All right. And then we're going to shift and do something different here. But for right now, let's leave it to that. And then we're going to go through and do non-chord tones, right? So chord tone, chord tone, chord tone, passing tone, passing tone, double passing tones because we're going from 5th to root, right? Chord tone, passing tone, chord tone, chord tone. We're going to skip up and step out, so that's an appoggiatura, right? This is a passing tone right there, going between 2 notes. Here's my, looks like a suspension, because it holds over and then resolves, right? We have to give the numbers. We're getting kind of crowded here, but that's okay. Let's just do this right now. A flat to E flat is a 5. And it looks like a 5/4 suspension because it comes down by step, but the bass is also moved. So it's 5/3. This is a sort of grown-up suspensions when the bass line gets to move too, and so it's not always evident like 4/3 or something like that, right? Okay, and keeping going on, this looks like another appoggiatura, right? Seems like he's doing similar kind of ideas. Skips up, steps down, right? Passing tone. None of these are non-chord tones. I mean, the sevenths feel dissonant because that's what it is. They're old-fashioned non-chord tones that have been incorporated in the chord, but that's still, right, thing. And then here, the very last one here, looks like this is also a suspension, so Beethoven's being consistent with his ideas. And this right from here, E flat to A flat, is a 4. Normally it would be a 4/3 suspension, but the bass is moving, and that's a 6th right there. So it's kind of funny numbers, right? And yet, that's what it is. Okay. That's a passing tone. We talked about that. Here's another suspension right here, right? So that's another suspension. Holds over, steps down. And that's a 5 right there. I think I'll put it down here right now just because of spacing. And that steps up and that steps down and becomes a 3. So it's the same thing as we had earlier over here, right? And then it comes, let's see, chord tone, neighbor tone there. And here we have a shift. I think I'm going to end this video right here, put up another one, and try and adjust my camera so that it's not so bad. So, good so far, and tune in for the next video right there.